Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is Monday, August 8th. This is episode 170 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next 30 minutes, I'll be delivering the top cybersecurity news stories of the day and providing expert analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break in the industry, how you can kind of use it to shape and understand the context, how things kind of fit together. It's definitely a lot of value all up in this stream, so please enjoy. But before we get into it, I want to say shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, my friend, great company, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. It's a win for you. It's a win for the executives. And, you know, nobody wants downtime, right? We grumble and gripe about, you know, audit and stuff like that, but that's on your schedule, right? When you're ransomware, you're operating on someone else's schedule at that point. I want to remind you, if you hold professional certifications like CISP, CISA, CISM, etc. that require CPEs or CEUs if you are in the UK, each episode, just like this one, of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE. So that's 2.5 a week, 10 a month. It stacks. It's awesome. Be sure to document. Literally the easiest and I would argue the most enjoyable way to get CPs. And how do I document it, Jerry? Well, let me help you out with that. Just say what's up in chat. Say hi, say hashtag team live. Even if you're lurking, if you're lurking, maybe you don't care about the CPEs, but just know that if you say what's up in chat or hashtag team replay, if you're catching this on replay, no amount of audit can dispute the fact that you're here and that you were here consistently and that you earn these CPEs. Also, pro tip, bulk it, do bulk submissions. So go into your, ISC Squared membership portal and say, 20 CPEs, Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Briefing, July 1st through August 30th or whatever, like the 2-month period. You do not have to document a half a CPE every single day. That would be brutal. I wouldn't want that. Nobody else would want that. Good morning, Ms. Julian. Good to see you. Hey, Joshua. Hey, Carrie. If you are live, just like those 3 individuals are, love it. Thank you for being here. We got 71 on just Simply Cyber's channels, and we're pushing out to several other platforms, so love it. Thank you for being here. We're going to have a great Monday. If you are on hashtag team replay, so drop in hashtag team replay in the comments because you're watching sometime in the future. I appreciate you catching the stream. I definitely appreciate the live and the replay audience. That's why we did the raffle last week for the replay audience as well, to be inclusive. But you guys have the power of time travel. You're like X-Men. You can literally grab the timer bar and slide it to the right and get right into the news, where the rest of us just live in the present. So if you want to do that, jump ahead in the audio podcast or jump ahead on the stream to the news starting. But otherwise, I'm very, very excited to pour my first cup of coffee of the day and welcome people into chat, the Simply Cyber community. So let's do that for about the next 90 seconds. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Devnal Zen's going to summer camp. Obviously, I'll be there. We'll see each other. It's all but confirmed, unless Bay said something else. Simply Cyber Community Meetup will be Saturday at 3:30 p.m. local time at Beer Park, which is just above Paris, right? It's like connected to Paris. It's like an indoor kind of cool baseball bleacher seats kind of vibe. Good beers. It's Vegas pricing, so. Yeah, I'll be there. Ace will be there. We'll have just completed the Trace Labs OSINT CTF. Some other people have reached out and said they'll be there. So hopefully we can connect and I can meet many of you and we can meet each other and, have a good time. BSEC will be there. Yep. Reggie Davis. Good morning, Reggie. Hey, Burble Morris. I'm not sure if you mean your team replay or team live, but Burble's definitely team live right now. Just so you guys know, I like any good cybersecurity professional, I eat my own dog food, or I deal, the rules apply to me just as everyone else. So, Left Coast people, you Achua, Poner Joe, Nick Barker, I see you guys get up every morning at 5 a.m. for the stream. I will be on Pacific time. I will be getting up and running this stream just like I always do. Same schedule, but it'll be 5 a.m. for me. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to grind. I'll be there for you guys. We will not skip a beat on the daily cyber threat briefing. My background will look different. My audio and video will be depreciated. But I mean, you know, could the audio get worse? I mean, I know this sounds good right now, but you guys know how bad I have audio issues from time to time. Dennis Hunter from Greensboro. What up, dude? What's up, Kimberly? Yeah, 5 a.m. Not my jam. I'll probably go back to bed after I do the stream. You can be team replay BSEC. Guys, I've got, I don't know if you guys saw it on socials yesterday, but hey, Will Ree, what's up? I have got an amazing announcement. I am super, super pumped for it. I'll be telling you at the mid-roll. So I'm very excited about it. Stay tuned for a major, what I would consider like a kind of cool major announcement. I haven't had the coffee sip yet, but it's time. Let's get into it, y'all. Munchkin was there on the squad member, Munchkin. Appreciate the squad sub. Love that. Adrian Parker up in Seattle. Get that vitamin D. All right. More coffee. That's right. I am trying to figure out the coffee situation, guys, honestly, because there's no microwave. There's no hot pot. I think I'm going to do like the Starbucks instance, but I still need hot water. So I think I'm going to pack a kettle, which my wife thinks I'm a lunatic for. All right, let's get into the news, and then we'll have some more fun. Good luck, Luis. You got this.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
It's Monday, August 8th, 2022. Critical flaws found in U.S. emergency alert system. The U.S. government is warning of critical vulnerabilities in its emergency alert systems that, if exploited, could enable intruders to send fake alerts out over television, radio, and cable networks. The Department of Homeland Security said in an advisory it was recently informed about the flaws in EAS encoder and decoder devices, adding that they were successfully exploited by Ken Pyle, a security researcher at cybersecurity firm Cyber, CYBIR. There is a sense of urgency to the advisory because the exploit may be presented with proof-of-concept code at the DEF CON conference in Las Vegas next week.
Whoop, whoop.
The DHS is urging organizations that operate the EAS to ensure that their devices and supporting systems are updated with the most recent software versions and security patches, are protected by a firewall, and are monitored with audit logs being regularly reviewed to ensure there is no unauthorized access.
Wow. Okay. So I haven't seen this in a while. This is obviously a proof of concept is going to be released at DEF CON. So now, the article goes on to say DEF CON may be off. This is one of those ones where the system is a critical infrastructure system, right? The U.S. Emergency alert system, right? So inbound ballistic missiles, nuclear power meltdowns, they do, we've all, at least in the United States, I don't know how they do it in other countries, we've all seen like the public service announcement broadcast, like your TV's like, boo, or we get them on our phones now, right? Like Amber Alerts and stuff like that. So we don't use this system very often, but it is critical if and when we do need it. Now, obviously it's a system. A lot of these are deprecated or, legacy. So not surprising that there is a flaw in it. I will be curious, honestly, if it does get released, whether it's an IT flaw or an OT flaw, like some deprecated, protocol, or that was never really designed with security in mind, or if it's like a really slick, buffer overflow or some type of like use after free bug or something. But the question really here for me is, this is obviously going to be newsworthy, right? This is the kind of story because DEF CON has such, what's the word I'm looking for? DEF CON has such like image in mainstream media, and this story, this talk that Ken's going to give is like right up there with reinforcing kind of that stigma of hackers and counterculture and stuff like that. So, this will definitely be in the news after DEF CON, whether he doesn't do it, whether he gets arrested for doing it. There's been instances, it hasn't happened since like, I want to say the 2000s. And I can't remember, but one individual like released a Cisco vulnerability with an exploit and was arrested like as he got off stage. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented waters. This can be scary. It does get into the question of responsible disclosure. I mean, what do you guys think? So this guy he found a vulnerability in the emergency alert system, and he's doing a conference talk to probably, those rooms hold like, 4,000 people, 3,000 to 4,000 people. It'll be streamed, right? Like, it's kind of a big push. Usually with these things, you socialize them privately so they can get corrected, and then when you release the research, the risk has already been mitigated. So these alert systems, they're old. They're usually run by government, so there probably isn't a lot of money to fix them. So this could be a train wreck, honestly. I'm curious. I'll just be curious to see how this plays out.
Security experts urge fix speedy confirmation as first U.S. cyber ambassador.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. If this does turn into a big story, we'll talk about it on stream.
A bipartisan group of 106 national security experts, former government officials, and industry leaders sent the Senate Foreign Relations Committee a letter on Tuesday endorsing Nate Fick to serve as the State Department's first ambassador at large for cyberspace and digital policy. This is according to a copy of a letter obtained by Cyberscoop. The letter emphasized the cyber threats that the U.S. faces and highlights Fick's unique resume. If confirmed, Fick will step into a role overseeing 3 policy channels dedicated to cyberspace security, communications and information, and digital freedom. The Bureau of Cyberspace and Digital Policy that Fick would take over is an expanded effort that builds on what had been a smaller and more diffuse cybersecurity portfolio at the State Department.
Okay, so this is macro level picture, geopolitical style, but this is important. Okay, so listen. I feel strongly that this is important, even though it might seem like not a big deal. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Brian. Right. I'll check that out after. That looks interesting. Okay. So check this out, guys. A new ambassador has been named. Nate Fick, and I don't know Nate, but of 106 different high-ranking people, bipartisan, across multiple countries and everything, say he's the right guy for the job. He must have an incredibly impressive resume, and I hope for the best for him. His job is, and this is a new job, is cyber ambassador. Okay, now why is this important? We've had roles in the United States government like cyber czar, which got a lot of press because the name czar is kind of a deprecated like Russia, Prussia moniker, but originally, all the cyber leadership positions have been around like U.S. policy and interfacing between like the NSA, the DoD, the civilian agencies, right? It's been kind of a logistics point. Ambassador is representing the United States in some other non-United States some other non-United States like venue or event or like typically countries, right? So like I'm the U.S. ambassador to Portugal. I represent the U.S. I work in Portugal. I do all these things in Portugal. Portugal has issues. If someone gets arrested that's a U.S. citizen in Portugal, like I'm the one who's kind of interacting. I represent the U.S. So what this is saying is Nate Fick represents the United States in cyberspace, right? In the metaverse, right? And this is kind of tying into what I'm doing later. But I think it's interesting for a couple reasons. One, they're beginning, like, and no surprise, the United States is a first world power. They're beginning to define and frame cyber as its own kind of place, and that the United States is an entity within that space. Guys, here's why I think, and this isn't tinfoil hat stuff, but like, this is what I think. As I've mentioned on stream before, the concept of like nationalism, patriotism, nation states as world powers unto themselves is kind of dissipating and getting fuzzy around the edges, right? Big tech is starting to get a lot of power and a lot of clout. Elon Musk has his own space shuttle program, right? Like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, like Russia and the United States and China had, like, they were the only ones who could afford or had the intellectual capital resources to build and develop programs like that, and now individuals have it, individual companies have it, right? You see what I'm saying? So with the metaverse and cyberspace, people are able to kind of build their own situation and build their own worlds, frankly, own countries, all own stuff, right? So you can't have like, oh, this is the United States cyberspace, so you buy virtual land in the United States cyberspace, right? You see what I'm saying? So this paradigm shift of nation state powers losing power inside this new space of cyber, they need to do something about it, right? So declaring an ambassador of cyber, I think, is beginning to frame that as, international norms and standards, right? Like Carl could have like Carltopia in Decentraland, but he's not going to have like an ambassador and all these other kind of infrastructure pieces. So I think it's interesting. I think it's yet another step towards, I guess, galvanizing or legitimizing the metaverse as an actual place that people go. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about the metaverse in just a minute here. So this is really, really interesting. Stay with me.
High severity bug in Kaspersky VPN client opens door to PC takeover. Tracked as CVE 2022-27535, this bug is a local privilege escalation security vulnerability in the security software that threatens remote and work-from-home users. It exists in the support tools part of the application and would allow an authenticated attacker to trigger arbitrary file deletion in the system, along with privilege escalation to system. According to a Kaspersky spokesperson, it could lead to device malfunction or the removal of important system files required for correct system operation. Kaspersky has fixed the issue, and users should update to version 21.6 or later to patch their systems.
Okay, so really quick, well, first of all, it's Kaspersky VPN client. So for my practitioners out there, if you guys are running Kaspersky VPN clients on your endpoints in your infrastructure, take note of this. It is the thing I will have as a takeaway for this particular story is that it is a local privilege escalation vulnerability. This means that you can take like a general Carl account, right? So you've got like a non-priv account, right? Like a daily driver user account. You compromise Carl's account. And you can escalate the privileges to system level or root level on the box. You see what I'm saying? So it's a type of vulnerability. Definitely want to get it patched, right? Because especially if it can lead to complete takeover. We don't want that. But the box already has to be compromised. You already have to be the threat actor already has to be on it, and then they escalate up, and then they can do more stuff like install apps, keylogger, stuff like that. So not this isn't like set the computer down and go patch this right away. This isn't like that small business Cisco RV switches from last week where it was like, the world's on fire. This is fine. This one, put this on the roadmap. Alert your IT staff, hey, this is something we got to get fixed. Obviously, roll out patches in a correct way so you don't break all your sales engineers who are on the road at Black Hat this week, right? But just be mindful of that. Also, if you work in the federal space, this isn't an issue. Kaspersky was banned, okay, a couple years ago from all federal IT infrastructure due to concern around backdoors and Russian entanglement. Even though Kaspersky is a private business, there was some concern about Russian nation state entanglement. So anyways, long story short, if you're running Kaspersky VPNs, be mindful, okay? But not wicked urgent because it's local priv escalation. All right, now let's listen to CISO series, and then I got a couple updates for you guys.
Thanks to this week's episode sponsor, EdgeScan. EdgeScan simplifies vulnerability management by delivering a single full-stack SaaS solution integrated with world-class security professionals. Instead of managing a plethora of point scanning tools for each layer of the attack surface and squandering precious staff resources manually removing false positives, EdgeScan offers automated and accurate contextualized alerts across the entire attack surface into a single source of truth. For more information, visit edgescan.com. That's EDGESCAN.com.
All right. I'm sure it's a fine product, but it always cracks me up when I hear a marketing lingo. I don't know if you guys listened to that commercial, but basically that tool does that tool solves all your problems and gives you one single pane of glass for your results. That was I mean, if that thing delivers on its promise, either that or the marketing people know what they're doing. That was interesting copy. Okay, so we're drinking French roast, Starbucks French roast. I ground it, 5 minutes before I drank it. It's kind of all I drink. Like, I'm not a snob where, well, I really like what I like. I've reached that age in my life where I like what I like. Okay, so check this out, guys, really quickly. We this week at Black Hat, Wednesday morning, this is 9 a.m. local time, so that would be noon in East Coast. I am on a panel. I'm really, really super excited about this. You can see my face over on the left, surrounded by some really, really interesting, smart people. Dr. Sally Eves, Kevin Jackson, Dustin Childs from the Zero Day Initiative. We're going to be spending an hour talking about the metaverse and what are the cybersecurity concerns. Basically, this is like a brave new world. And much like the way that, the Wild West was when they were just settling, or the way that the internet was before people figured out that they could attack it, there's a lot with the metaverse that needs to be discussed from a cybersecurity perspective, and we're going to do this panel. I have opted in to have this. You might be asking, where do I catch this? I am going to be pushing this live to Simply Cyber's channel. So some of you may have seen last week the vMix test go live thing, don't look here or whatever. That was me testing with Trend Micro, who's hosting this thing, to verify that their AV team could push to Simply Cyber, which we successfully did. So at noon on Wednesday next week, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. local Pacific time, this event's going to happen, and I'm super excited. I've been doing a lot of research because I'm not a metaverse expert. I just complain about NFTs and crypto scams, right? But I've did a lot of research, like the last 2 weeks, many articles. I did some distillation and some enrichment, remixed some ideas. I've come up with some what I think are some pretty cool thoughts. So if you're interested in this, I think it's going to be a fun, interesting talk. Definitely not your daddy's cybersecurity panel talk. Come check this out. But here's what's super cool, okay? I'm really, really pumped about this. I hope you can join me. Okay, guys? Later today, right? So Team Replay, it's August 8th. It's Monday, August 8th. It's 8:30 a.m. local Eastern time right now. At 4 p.m. Eastern time today, I am going live and doing a kind of a one-off presentation. I am going to be telling you what are the 5 cyber attacks that, based on my research, will definitely happen. Okay, like you can expect these like right away in the metaverse. Now, here's what's cool. I will be in the metaverse. I've built a room in spatial VR. I'm going to have a headset on. It will be broadcast live on Restream. You will be able to watch it without VR gear. It'll just be the perspective of one of the avatars in the room. But if you want to attend, go to this stream, and you can see I pinned a comment on the top right. That comment is a link that takes you directly into the VR room, the metaverse conference room I built, and you can attend the presentation live with me. I'll be up at the front speaking, and you can do it from I had my 10-year-old, Grayson with the jokes. I had him on an iPad in the room. Of course, he's 10, so he was like, popping and locking upside my head while I was trying to practice my presentation. My 7-year-old on an iPhone was doing it. You can do it with VR headset. I know Base has got VR headset. He's going to be there live. So there's many different ways to consume this. The cool thing is it's a talk that I'm giving about cybersecurity metaverse. So if you're interested in that, but even if you're really kind of on the fence about that topic, it's going to be a cool experience to at least try to give a talk on the Simply Cyber platform in the metaverse. I will have this microphone boom pushed to the side. I'll have a VR headset on. I'll be speaking into my Yeti mic. So the Restream broadcast will be consumable, and I'll be moving around, but I hope you can join us in VR. The weird thing is you can only have 50 people in there, so the first 50 get in, but I hope it doesn't go gangbusters, because I need to be two of the 50 people. I need to be me presenting, and then I need to be sitting in the front row so I can restream that perspective into Restream. But anyways, come hang out. Come hang out. I have no idea. This thing could devolve into total anarchy where like 48 people are, doing organized dancing, like river dance up on the front, and you can't see my screen, or like they replace my presentation with Pornhub. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay. So I hope you can join later today. I'm really excited. I did a lot of research this weekend on, I looked at 4 different meeting platforms in the VR. This one I'm using is not the best one, but it's the only one that could allow people without VR headsets to be able to attend.
Massive cyber attack hits German chambers of industry and commerce. The email and website services of the German Chambers of Industry and Commerce, DIHK, an organization representing millions of businesses in Germany, went down last week as they tried to recover from a cyber attack that began on Thursday. The organization did not respond to requests for comment, but said on Twitter that only its phone system was still working. The DIHK helps companies with legal issues, provides general support, and promotes German businesses internationally. The attack, which carried the hallmarks of a ransomware incident, was having downstream effects on the 79 local arms of the organization, including offices in Frankfurt, Cologne, and Berlin.
All right, first of all, let's just get this out of the way since everybody's thinking about it. The German Chambers of Industry and Commerce, their acronym is... Are you serious? Like, that's really funny. Hey, I'm just going to go on down to the... You know what I mean? Like, they may want to work on that with their PR people. Okay, so looks like ransomware attack on a German Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Again, this is ransomware. It's ransomware, right? High target. Could have been spray and pray. Hit a good one. The one thing that I would, I guess, share here that's worth sharing is that I found it interesting that this industry suffered this business suffered such a major attack that they only have their telephones, right? Which is probably not VoIP, right? They're probably they are completely down. This is catastrophic. This is when you call Barricade Cyber Solutions, okay? So this is catastrophic. They took to Twitter and LinkedIn to socialize what is going on and provide updates to their customer base. I find this fascinating. I'm not surprised, but I find it fascinating. A couple weeks ago, we talked about alternate telecommunication streams, NIST CP8's Control Enhancement 5. For those NIST people who heart NIST, you know what I'm talking about. Having those things in place in advance are awesome. I just find it interesting, and I'm not surprised, right? Twitter is a massive communication platform. To be able to use it to get messages out and to communicate and, kind of quote unquote continue to do business. It's in a incredibly depreciated way. Obviously, you're not going to conduct like public business across DMs, but I do find it interesting that that was their strategy. Whether they thought of it in advance or, it's a dumpster fire and they're like, well, we got to get the message out somehow. Let's do it on Twitter. Let's do it on LinkedIn. Let's hit these socials. So yeah, I find that interesting. Again, ransomware is going to ransomware. I don't know if German Chamber of Industry and Commerce, they said it is lawyers and stuff that help people. So I wonder if it was an opportunity target. So it's like, oh, they definitely need to be up and running, or if it was deliberate, right? Sometimes these attacks are deliberate. Like let's say they were going to help some business in a way that would be adversarial to me, right? Like, so I sell books, and there's a digital book company in Germany that's trying to challenge me or whatever. And they've gone to this German Chamber of Industry and Commerce to get adjudication. And I attack the crap out of them because I'm either angry or because I don't want them to get the help from them. That's a little bit of a fringe use case, probably unlikely. This is probably a higher probability that it was a pray and spray, or somebody at the ministry needed a couple extra bucks, right? We've seen Wizard Spider offer a piece of the pie, a piece of the action, if you give them your creds, right? If Carl gives them Carl's creds, they'll give him 5% of all the ransoms, right? So
Unlinked Lyceum Group adds a new weapon to its arsenal. The Lyceum Group, which has been active since 2017 and is a state-sponsored Iranian APT group, generally targets Middle Eastern organizations, most notably in the energy and telecommunications sectors, and they rely heavily on .NET-based malware. Researchers from Zscaler have stated that they recently observed a new campaign where the Lyceum Group was utilizing a newly developed and customized .NET-based malware targeting the Middle East by copying the underlying code from an open-source tool and using a .NET-based DNS backdoor.
Okay.
Apple tells...
Okay. So, I guess... Okay. Couple things here. It's funny that these this screenshot, right? This is a this is like a macro warning, like enabling macros, and then I guess this is VBA, not .NET. So whatever. Anyways, so Lyceum Group, good to know. Added to the list, right? That's a Iranian-backed APT group. So yes, Iran has first world cyber powers, and they use them. They target Middle East. So listen, stream chat, if you guys are operating with any Middle Eastern countries or you operate out of the Middle East, I know CyberSec Mom's up in that space. There's a couple other individuals out in that space. Be mindful. You should add Lyceum Group to your threat model. In fact, this is a good opportunity. So basically, just relative to the story, they are a APT, right? And they use .NET kind of as their malware vehicle, and they've added a new DNS backdoor based on an open source one. But really, if you have decent EDR and decent security protection mechanisms, open source tooling and kind of the fingerprints, TTPs of open source tooling hopefully does get caught, so that's not a big issue. What is a great takeaway, and this one's good for both practitioners to weaponize this knowledge and people interviewing. You guys ready? Grab your socks and hold on, because what I'm about to tell you could really, really nuke a job interview in a really good way. Just like the interviewer's face melts like they open the Ark of the Covenant because you're dropping knowledge on them. Okay, so listen to this. You can use MITRE ATT&CK, which is, if you go to attack.mitre.org, you'll see it. MITRE ATT&CK is this awesome taxonomy framework of, the entire spectrum of potential attack targets or techniques, TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. I always get that wrong, but TTPs. They also have all the APTs there, right? So Lyceum Group, Wizard Spider, APT 29, 28, 31, 41, right? All the household names that we all know and love, and then some of the lower tier ones, right? Like our AA ball clubs, APT clubs. Anyways, Jerry, what's the point? Where's the face melting part? Okay, here's the deal. I don't know. I don't operate in the Middle East. I don't know Lyceum Group. However, let's just say after I get off the stream today, I get on a call with the CEO and he's like, hey, listen, we're going to be moving into the Middle East. There's like it's a market that isn't tapped, whatever. Okay. I'm like, all right, how do I quickly and efficiently pivot my security program to be set up the most efficient way to protect me from my current threats? Because the threatscape is about to change, right? I go to MITRE ATT&CK, I pull up Lyceum Group, I look at all the TTPs for Lyceum Group, and then I start looking at my own infrastructure, overlay those two to figure out where my potential increased risk risk surface, attack surface is, frankly. And then now that I've got that subset of potential attacks that are likely to happen from this threat actor, which has an increased likelihood of occurring because now we're operating in that space, now I can begin to either ensure that my controls are configured in a way that would protect me from that, or that they will detect .NET attacks. They will detect DNS C2 channel communications, right? That's the power of MITRE ATT&CK framework, threat modeling, and being able to actually take information the CEO says, or whoever, right? Whoever is saying that we're going to do this, and turning around and operationalize it in a way that is meaningful to your security program. Okay? And just to synopsis what I just said. when your threat model changes, you can use MITRE ATT&CK to build out what your new attack surface will look like, and then use it to test the efficacy of your controls and tune your controls or find gaps based on that work. Okay? That's the TLDR. That's the face melt. You're talking MITRE ATT&CK and APT threat modeling, attack surface pivoting. Like, the person on the other side is going to, like, just start, I mean, if they're really a cyber pro, they're going to start drooling and be like, yes, get on board. What's your number? That's what they're going to say.
Suppliers to use Taiwan, China or Chinese Taipei to appease Beijing. This rule, which applies to its suppliers in Taiwan, means that all components manufactured there must be labeled in such a way as to describe Taiwan as a province of the People's Republic of China. According to Japanese financial publication Nikkei, this is due to China ramping up enforcement of a long-standing import rule. While China and the US have allowed the status of Taiwan to remain ambiguous over the years, observers at the register suggest this may be a repercussion from last week's visit to Taiwan by Nancy Pelosi, an action that did not sit well with the Chinese government.
Yep.
Last week in ransomware.
Hold on. You calm down. Yeah. So, hey, from the office of here's my surprise face. No surprise here. Okay, guys. Beijing, China, they have such, I don't want to call it bargaining power, but they have so much weight, so much gravity because of their, their position within the global supply chain, within their buying power as a society, because they have like 3 billion citizens, right? And because it's an authoritative regime, the people in charge can really decide how that buying power, what gets in and what gets out. And when you're trying to sell iPhones, right? That's 3 billion potential customers, right? That's and then let's say an iPhone's $1,000 each, right? That's like what? $300 billion, right? If they all buy iPhones. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but you get my point. That's a market that nobody wants to not tap into. And if it's something as simple as changing, made in Taiwan, China on the label of the shirt instead of just made in Taiwan, or the microprocessor or the television or whatever, then that is something that people are willing, Apple's willing to accept. Now, here's the thing. 1.4 billion. Thank you, Joe, for the fact check. Okay. Here's the thing. This is the slow play, the erosion of Taiwan being seen as its own country in the world stage, right? China is going to make every effort to consume Taiwan. Taiwan sees themselves as an independent country, right? There's obviously a conflict there. If, doing things like this is kind of like a non-aggressive, non-military way to begin to frame to Taiwan that, hey, guess what? The rest of the world doesn't see you as a country either. This isn't like a us and you problem. This is like a you problem, right? So it's a slow way of changing the mindset and framing Taiwan as not a country in the world theater. That's what this is. Like I said, it really seems simple, but it's the way. It's passive. I mean, it's just China, I will give China this. They do literally operate on 10-year, 20-year, 30-year plans. And whether it's the way that they're rolling out healthcare or the way that they've, kind of built their cyber powers up, or the way that they've increased their focus on education and R&D, they operate on long-term plans. And I'm sure that one of their long-term objectives is to consume Taiwan and make it, a nation state or a state or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but like a province maybe. So anyways, this is more indication of this. So Apple bend the knee. And that's what Apple did here.
According to Bleeping Computer, last week was a relatively quiet one on the ransomware front. Mandiant revealed that an Iranian threat actor was behind ransomware attacks on the Albanian government. Microsoft announced last week that new Windows 11 builds in the beta channel had improved Microsoft Defender for endpoint ransomware attack blocking capabilities. Ransomware attacks of interest included ones on the Spanish National Research Council, Semicron getting hit by LV ransomware, the German Chambers of Industry and Commerce, as we just reported on, and Krios, Luxembourg. In addition, the Hive Group attacked 2 private schools in England, basing their ransom demands on their research into the school's ransomware insurance policy. Just remember what's...
All right, so your ransomware roundup from last week. Again, look, this is Iranian threat actors, ransomware to Albanian government, okay? You know, we just talked about how to threat profile Iranian threat actors. Add this to the arsenal of potential malware. Right? So, real quick, Mandiant did that work. Mandiant got acquired by Google or is being acquired by Google. We don't know what that's going to look like when it's actually completed, but, Mandiant's obviously out there still working, still doing good InfoSec stuff. And then obviously we knew about the Hive attacking one of the schools and ransomwaring them. Apparently they took on 2 schools. And as I mentioned last week, believing that part of Wizard Spider's management moved over to the Hive, they are asking for ransoms that are very much mapped directly to the insurance policy of the victim, meaning that they had inside knowledge, right? It's tough to negotiate. It's tough to negotiate when you don't have any hidden, your entire hand, right? Your playing cards are all face up. It's tough to negotiate in any capacity. So let me do this. Okay, guys. Yeah, if you can, thanks, Kimberly. Hit the like button, whatever. Guys, if you, again, I just want to remind you, I have 2 things. One is a question for you guys, and I really wanted to set up a poll, but I haven't set a poll up yet, so I'll go back and watch chat. Just a reminder, today at 4 p.m., I will be giving a talk about cybersecurity attacks that will definitely happen in the metaverse, but I will be doing it from the metaverse. You will be able to catch it on Simply Cyber YouTube channel, like a regular feed. You'll have the perspective of one individual in the audience, or you can join. The link is pinned in the stream. You can go and actually join the room and walk around and see, it's not crazy. It's not Decentraland, but I built a room, and I'll be giving a presentation in it. And I got an avatar that looks like me. I'm sure that this is a terrible idea from a privacy perspective, but I submitted a picture of my, I'm actually embarrassed about this. I submitted a picture of my face. It modeled me, and then I put a 3-piece suit on because, why not? And the avatar looks like me. So whatever, whatevs. Come join us at 4 o'clock. The question I have for everybody, and I'm kind of curious, okay, so if you are a member of the Simply Cyber community, you likely got an email on Friday. I sent out a newsletter. It was an absolute unmitigated mess. It was a mess. First of all, I sent out the newsletter and immediately got flagged as malware, right? So, fail. Secondly, I attached the newsletter as a PDF, which is very 2005. I was told by somebody in the community. They're like, don't do that. That's, what are you doing? Then the newsletter, it's like a church community bulletin. What are you trying to do? What kind of information are you trying to share? And I was like, ugh. So I kind of wrapped my head for a little bit, and I was thinking, let me know if this is something interesting to you. I do not want to put the time and effort into this if you don't think it's going to add value, okay? I was thinking of first thing Monday morning, I would do this on Friday, but on Monday morning, an email comes in and it's basically 5 bullets of the top news stories from the previous week. So the number 1 story from Monday that I thought, and then 2 sentences on why. The number 1 story from Tuesday on why I thought, and 2 sentences why. So it would basically be 5 bullets. And my mindset is, maybe you missed last week, maybe you were here, but you had a great weekend and you're not really thinking. And the idea is that it would be a 2-minute read, and it would prep you with all of the things that went on last week. So you're you hit the ground running, things are refreshing. Maybe we do the morning briefing and there's a follow-up story. So I was thinking 5 bullets, 1 for each day of the week, the previous week of the top stories. Let me know if that's something that you think you would find value in. It won't take me long because I already do this work, right? It would just be a matter of me saying, right after I get off stream, okay, that story is the number 1 story, copy paste. But I think it would be a nice aggregated useful email. And for people who can't commit the 1 hour to the streams, it still gives you some data points to operationalize and set the stage for you for that week. Dude, if you go into a meeting with management or whatever Monday morning right after the stream, like you go in for a 10 a.m. Monday meeting and you've already got all the, like this, I don't know, like that Cisco router thing. Not that that would be my number one story, but you see what I'm saying? Like you could be and be like, oh, or actually the, U.S. ambassador, you could be like, oh, did you guys see how that United States named a cyber ambassador? It's crazy. Like, meanwhile, Carl's like still trying to like get the sleep out of his eyes and figure, and you're just dominating. So let me know. Again, it will take me time and effort. I have very little free time. I have a lot of initiatives going on, but I just want to, I don't know. I was just thinking that it would be cool. And I was so embarrassed about that newsletter I sent out that I'm like even more motivated to deliver a quality. It's not even a newsletter. It's like a, I don't know, a weekly email or something like that. So let me know. I see a couple people, Jessica Probe, saying that'd be cool. Devnell Zen thinks the email would be redundant. Okay. Discord newsfeed. All right. Connie Daggett. Yeah. So I'm thinking that the audience would be twofold. And I would put at the bottom of the email, like, if you want to catch the full streams, like, here is a link to the morning streams, right? The idea is that you could share it. More people could find out about Simply Cyber. It would be less time for you, right? So you could read it in 2 minutes instead of committing, essentially 5 hours a week, 1 hour every day for the threat briefing. It would be, obviously not as rich, but a more condensed version. So I'll go back and look at chats. Munchkin, if you want to subscribe to it, I don't have a specific landing page, but if you go to simplycyber.io right now, like if you scroll down here, I'll just show you. If you scroll down a little bit, right here, come on, render. If you go right here, and hit subscribe, that'll sign you up. Like I said, I'm not like a marketing person or anything. So I'm just a, InfoSec nerd. So I'm not great at all these things, but if you go here and drop your name and stuff, it'll sign you up. Like I only have one kind of email collection thing. I don't have different landing pages for different things because that's not what I'm trying to accomplish, but that's how you'd sign up for it. All right. Type letter. Reggie Davis, I don't know what that means. Is that a term? Type letter? I don't know. Haiku is good, Shinadu. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's basic Linux skills, basic pen testing skills. So me personally, I'm not learning anything, but it is enjoyable. It is a fun platform. And I'm actually really excited. We had the CEO of World of Haiku on last week on stream, and I'm very excited to see where they take it because they're going to have it set up so you can work in the game and then it'll pull real life open job requests that you're qualified for based on the skills you developed in the game. So you want to talk about the metaverse, this cyber physical world interface? That's a perfect example. All right, thanks Joshua B. I'll have to Google this AeroPress or look for you guys on in chat to see like what kind of coffee recommendations you did. Because so I will be doing the daily threat briefing every morning. Tomorrow, my flight isn't until the afternoon, so I'll do the morning briefing from the studio. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will do the threat briefing from my hotel room in Las Vegas. It will be at 8 a.m. Eastern, same as everybody else. There will be no, like right now, there is no Thursday live stream. The long extended guest interviews I do Thursday afternoons. That'll be like 7 o'clock Thursday night. I'll probably be at some type of like event or business dinner or something like that. Plus, I can't really have a guest on and everything. But stay tuned. Maybe I'll do like a Renegade live stream if I find some stuff. BSEC, recommend no coffee. That's just not in the cards, my friend. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do, though. I'm not going to walk 20 minutes at 4:30 in the morning to go get a coffee. I'm not into that. All right, guys. Let's do this. I appreciate all of you. I hope, please come and see what this metaverse talk looks like. I'm very, very genuinely interested to see how it goes. It's going to be fun. Special thanks to all the squad members. I see you guys joining. We're like at 150 members. I said it before. If you are squad alpha or mastermind and you are on the Discord server, make sure you connect with me or one of the mods, because there is a squad member role that you are absolutely entitled to that I want to make sure that you get added. It'll open up a couple hidden channels and stuff like that. It's just for fun. There's no concrete information that you don't have access to. The squad is just a way to support the channel and get some fun stuff. That's it. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you at 4 o'clock for the for what will likely turn into a dumpster fire. And then on Wednesday, just a reminder that Simply Cyber will be pushing a live stream at noon Eastern time of me on a Trend Micro panel talking about metaverse or metaverse. There's no like upcoming live stream. This will just appear and start being live on channel. So you can't like remind me. You can't do any of that stuff. I think if you hit the bell for notifications, it may notify you when the stream starts. I don't know. This is all new. This is all new for me. So, all right, guys, it is August 8th. Episode 170. I'm Dr. Gerald Auger. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Good luck with the Ark of the Covenant face melting situation with the Iranian APT MITRE attack stuff. Go get them. And for those, Louise, with your interview, all those with interviews today or this week, best wishes. You guys got this, okay? We'll talk soon. Take care, everybody.